Well, so thanks for joining us today. I know you're really busy, so we won't keep you for very long. Quick questions just so we can get the viewers at home comfortable and know a little bit more about the both of you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your family and where you're from and what brought you to Ketchikan?
Alaskan born. Born in Fairbanks. My mother came up to work on the Alcan Highway for the Corps of Engineers in the 40s. My dad was in the Alaskan Scouts in World War II in the Aleutian Islands. He's one of 3 surviving members of the 65-member Alaskan Scouts that lived and fought in the war in the Aleutian Islands. So that kind of an interesting history of my background back that far. We have, I've lived in Valdez for 30 years and Anchorage now for 20 years, but we have 4 children, Lindsay, Tessa, Adam, and Jordan. They range ages 21 to 28. And they're all in various stages of their schooling and whatnot, but they're all they're all either in college or have processed on beyond that. So
great. So I've got to know, how did you meet your wife?
Well, go ahead, Donna. Why don't you?
Well, I came up after college from California. I went to San Diego State and came up to work on this big pipeline. It was like the gold rush back then, and so I worked out of Glen Allen Camp and construction camp as the recreation director. And once the construction was over, I was hired in Valdez as the first director of Parks and Recreation. And Bill Walker was one of the first people in my door with all of his list of priorities for what he thought his community needed. And we just kind of hit it off. He was just a totally different kind of guy than anyone I'd ever met before. I'd grown up born in Alabama, grew up in Hawaii and California, so in the 60s and 70s it was that laid back, easy breezy, just skating through life. And I was looking for more than that. And here I moved to Valdez and find this guy who's 25 years old. He's already a community leader. He's already, running a couple of businesses and just very passionate about his community and about his state, and just very decidedly different from anybody I'd ever met before.
So my question is this. I heard that you were mayor of Valdez at 27. Did you have any idea when you met this fabulous guy at the age of 25 living in Alaska that you would be a mayor's wife 2 years later?
It didn't surprise me. As a matter of fact, I made him run for council because everybody was already looking up to him as a community leader, and I just, they needed his voice, and so he ran for council, and then the next year was the mayor. And then I drug him off to go to law school.
That's great. Now, you specialize in a very particular form of law. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes. What we focus on is municipal law. We're the municipal attorneys for various small cities that don't have a law department. Mm-hmm. But also we specialize in oil and gas law. In other words, the oil leases on the North Slope, what's happened on the oil line has been half of our professional life. The other half is how do we get a gas line built and get gas to Alaskans. So it's really oil and gas with the municipal law as well.
Now, oil and gas, given your history, this is an issue that I understand is very, very important to you. So would that be part of the reason why now, why governor?
Well, it is. It's important to the whole state. And so, and I feel that with the tools that I have been provided over these years of training and we're a natural resource state. And I think that it's time we have somebody in the governor's office that lives and breathes natural resource law and has the ability to recognize what needs to be done to connect Alaskans to our natural resources. We have so much natural resource and we pay the highest cost of energy in the state. That's just wrong, and that's our fault. That's nobody's fault that we can point a finger at and say it's because of this group or that group. It's because we haven't stepped up as a state and created the infrastructure to get our resources to our people.
And how do you see the Southeast playing into the future in terms of your larger goals for the state? Tell me a little bit about that. So, because you have a background in Valdez and you've lived in Anchorage for a number of years, and really you have interests all over the state. But tell me about your vision for Southeast.
Well, my vision for Southeast is that it get back to what it used to be. I mean, it was a growing, vibrant economy with timber, and I see what has happened to Southeast as a result of the shutdown of the timber. And that isn't because we ran out of timber. It's because federal regulations regulations have stopped that and slowed that down, and also there's been some state regulations that haven't helped that a great deal either. So I'd like to see Southeast get back to a growing, vibrant economy. I like to see the fishing in Southeast is unprecedented. I mean, the beauty, so I think it's a combination of everything. Really, tourism, cost of energy, education, fisheries, all those are important in every area of Alaska, but Southeast sort of personifies that, especially with timber development as well. It's just we need to grow our economy. We need to stop complaining about what other groups are doing to us. It's time for us to pick up our picks and shovels and go to work and do the infrastructure to get our economy going again. And we just have no one else to blame.
Okay, so that to me sounds really good. And we just came out of the chamber luncheon, and everyone was really, really excited about what you had to say. And so clearly there's a real interest in your message. Aside from that, if I'm sitting at home and I'm a voter and I'm saying, I'm still not sure who I would want to vote for, why would I vote for you as opposed to someone else?
Partly because I'm not looking for a job. I'm not looking to launch a political career. I come from the private sector, and I've dealt with government all these years, and it's time to, I think, bring in someone who understands what needs to be done, has a plan of developing our resources and getting our state going, and not just comes in and says, I don't like what we're doing, I'm going to cut the budget 4%. I'm saying we need to grow this state. We need to grab on like we did in the early years of this state, and as we developed it. So I guess the difference is I come from a background of doing and not necessarily complaining so much, but actually hands-on doing projects and doing things. That's why Governor Hickel has so strongly endorsed me and encouraged me in this effort. Governor Hickel has been a real inspiration over the years. I traveled with him to Beijing, China, a couple of years ago. He was 88 at the time.
Wow.
We got to the Beijing airport. It's the largest building in the world. It's 5 times larger than our Pentagon. It's huge.
Really?
And here's Governor Hickel charging off across that airport like a 20-year-old in the Olympics. And so he's been a great inspiration to me. I've worked with him for a long time. So we see the world similarly as far as what we need to do as far as an owner state. It's time we start acting like the owners that we are.
So, you're governor. Where are you going to live?
We're going to live in Juneau. We're going to
Wonderful.
live.
Good to hear.
And we're excited because this will be a surprise to Donna. I've been doing a little bit of checking about boat slips in the Juneau Boat Harbor. The entire time we lived in Valdez, we had a boat, always, at least one, and sometimes more than one, which was very, very foolish sometimes. But it's time for us to get. We're excited about living in Juneau. We're excited about our kids are off on their own at this point. Some come home from college, but Juneau will be our year-round home. It'll not be a winter home. It'll be our year-round home. And it's my intention that would be the home of our commissioners as well. I think it's important that the center of government is at the center of government. It's not fractured. So it's time we sort of reconnect that, and we're excited about living in Juneau.
And you have an exciting message. Clearly inside at the Chamber Luncheon, people were just, wow, this is great. So I want to know more about you. Where do I go to find more information? And if I have a question for you, how do I get in touch with you?
Well, I think our website is probably the best way. It's www.billwalkerforgovernor.com. We have Facebook. There's a fair amount of information on our website.
I became a fan today.
Good,
yes,
very good, wonderful, wonderful. And we're on Twitter. We have the social media is absolutely wonderful to be able to communicate. So go there. If your questions are not answered there, please send me an email and give us a call. The information is on the website, and we'll get back to you with a response. And so we love being in Ketchikan. Looking forward to more times in Ketchikan, and again another beautiful day in Ketchikan.
I know. What is it? Every time you're in
every
town,
time I'm here, every time
Please
it's a
come
sunny
more
day.
often.
So yeah, I would look forward to it.
Thank you so much. I know you're both so busy, so I'll let you go. And it was a pleasure. You just landed not too long ago.
That's
You've
right.
got commitments all over the state. So thank you very, very much.
You bet. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Walker.
Thank you.